Here we are, Miss Aubrey
Girl
Lynn.
talk. Girl
the
talk.
interview portion of your show. We have the room to ourselves.
It's kind of strange. I mean, it isn't, but it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I like it. Well, we chat anyway.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Dish, girl.
Now this you are, and I just have to say, you're absolutely amazing. You really just need some luck. You need somebody to hear you that can do something with you because you're fabulous.
Thank
you.
you.
You can sing the phone book. There's no doubt about it. and I am going to pray for you that happens because you so deserve it. I know life hasn't been easy for you.
No, and I think I'm 36 years old. I'm not a spring chicken, but I got a lot of fire under my ass to still keep doing music because I just love it. I can't not do it. Even if it pisses me off to do it, it's got to come out.
Yeah, it's part of you.
Or I'll explode. And you're right. I think that I didn't just grow up wanting to be famous or be a singer or whatever. It just started happening. And of course I idolized what my daddy and his bands, and they're on stages and playing instruments and things, and I just thought that was so cool. And of course I have all the great artists and musicians that I've loved my whole life to listen to their craft, but I think it just starts to become something that whether you want to or not, it's got to come out if that's who you are. I've told people 100 times that's kind of the only thing that I really, really think that I'm just damn good at. But I don't let that go too far with myself because I was raised, somebody's always better. Somebody's always going to get the opportunity that you're not. And I know that. And so I try to, I don't want to be conceited about it. And that's that whole girl thing. Everybody thinks, oh, she just thinks she's hot stuff. No, I'm not in any kind of competition with what I'm doing or what I'm singing about or writing in the music and the art that I do. It's, I think if I didn't do it, I'd go damn crazy.
Well, I think
it has to be a therapeutic vessel for me, or I will.
Oh, absolutely.
I will go off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just kind of it found its way to me, and now I'm like, okay, I know I can go do that.
Well, let's see. Your daddy was a performer. I really believe in genetics when it comes to being able to sing and music, the musical talent and your gift of songwriting. I mean that is what it is. It's a gift, and it's great therapy for you. And yes, there's competition as far as competing for jobs. But as far as individuality and songwriting, everybody's different, and what you have is the best of you, and
that's all I'm trying to do is top that.
All we want to do is get better and better. So you're the one who's holding yourself to that standard, and nobody else.
I think, of course, when I first started out and really getting my feet wet with it as a teenager, to really think that I might seriously want to pursue it and try to dig in. Oh, I got my freaking feelings hurt all the time because we were doing auditions and star searches and talent shows and this and that and another, and I was in 4th and 5th grade. I was in choir and I didn't like it, and it wasn't that I didn't like singing or singing with other people. I didn't feel like I was doing it very well because that's a different style of singing that I just wasn't accustomed to at the age of 4th and 5th grade. But I had this amazing choir teacher that, I mean, she would, to a 4th and 5th grade young little girl, she would teach me how to, hold my apertures and how to stand and hold my posture and I wanted to sing all the solos and I wanted to, because I had the big canon.
Right.
But I didn't get them all the time. And I started learning then, okay, I quit choir, but it wasn't because of that. It wasn't because I wasn't getting the solos and I wasn't the best. Mm-hmm. Although I wanted to be real bad, you know.
Yeah.
I quit it because I didn't think I was ready for it. And I thought I had a different path with music if I was going to do it. And it was just something I had no idea what that path was at all. But I just said, you know what, maybe I love this music thing. I love this, you know, this whole creation process and things like that. And I love being a part of a group that does music. And I was singing with my dad's bands. I was background singing my whole life. And you know, Dad thought we were my sister and I were his little Jordanaires back there, you know, and we had all the moves and everything. And
right.
We were the Scarf Girls. My dad did a tribute to Elvis, and we would come out and we'd put his cape on him and his scarf. And he didn't try to imitate Elvis. He was honoring Elvis. He loved Elvis Presley, but I had that experience, and so I wanted to learn how do I get from back there. And all that stuff that I'd seen my dad do as a frontman and as an artist, an entertainer. Mm-hmm. How do I get myself there? And I didn't know what that was. So, of course, he played guitar, he played fiddle, he's taught himself, you know, any music that he knew. And I'm sure through his education and experiences with his family and other musical people in his family, that just was a part of him. Mm-hmm. And I knew it was in me, sure.
Yeah.
I came out singing.
Now, did he write originals as well? Original songs?
Yeah, I have. I was telling my mom the other day that there's these, damn it, Helen.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. A couple of weeks back, Kylie Ray Harris passed away, and she was a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. And I've been keeping up with her family's postings and memories and stuff. And I knew Kylie Ray, and I had spent many beautiful moments with her on stages and off stages and girl talks here and there and whatnot. But I didn't know her as deeply as a lot of people did. But what I did know about Kylie Ray is that she was a lover. That girl loved everybody and everything and loved love and just loved life. And she came to me one time and she said, "How do you do this?" And I was pregnant with Grayson, so 5 years ago. Uh-huh. I said, "What do you mean?" And she were in the wings and she said, "How do you do this?" And I said, "Go out there and sing." And she goes, "How do you come out here and do what you're doing as good as you're doing it, and you just look so stoic and put together?" I said, "Kylie Ray, I don't know. I just do it." That's what my mama always said whenever I started having kids and stuff. How do you do 1, 2, 3 kids? How do you do all those kids? You just do it. And I want to do this or I wouldn't be here. And so I just go do it. I said, "You're doing it, Kylie." Mm-hmm. And her Corby was little then, right. And she said, "You just look so put together, and I'm a big old mess." And I said, "Kylie Ray, we are all big old messes under a little bit of makeup and brushed hair." So I've been keeping up with her family. That it was it just ripped me apart to lose.
Tragic.
To lose her the way, and for everybody to lose her the way that it happened. But mm-hmm. I've been watching her mother Betsy, who I've not personally met, but I've been watching her posts and her memories and stuff. And she talked about a moment that she called, I think she called it a wink. Mm-hmm. And she was at her horse stall with her horse named Allie. And Allie was named because Kylie Ray just loved her friend Allie. A girl and a horse, you know. So yeah. Betsy's at the horse stall, Allie, and Kylie Ray's friend Allie was that was her namesake, you know. And her phone started going off in her back pocket. And she saw, it was like FaceTime, like she was calling somebody. And she looked, and there was a number that she didn't recognize. And then a girl picks up that she kind of recognized. And she was like, "Hey, I'm Allie." And she's like, "Oh, okay. And they chatted for a minute, and she was talking to another friend about Kylie Rae at the moment that this phone call thing just happens.
Wow.
And she said, I was just telling him that I was sad because I usually get winks from people that have passed on, and I hadn't gotten one from Kylie Rae, and I know all these things have just happened and stuff, but she said I hadn't got mine yet, and that was her wink from I mean, Betsy was like, "Well played, Kylie Rae," because she didn't have her number, and she just was calling her somehow, and it was wild, like all the things lined up.
Yeah.
Well, Dad, he taught me everything that I would sit down for 5 minutes and learn from him, because I wouldn't when I was a teenager for sure. But he told me, he said, "You know, you might think that your old dad is dumb as a box of rocks, but I bet as you get older that I will get smarter and smarter every day." And by God, he does. It drives me crazy. But the craziest thing was, you're asking about, did he write? He was a poet. Like, my father was such a wordsmith. He was just such an eloquent way. When I listen to Jeff Hobson speak, even not even just in music and what his lyrics are, but even just to read Jeff Hobson post a little piece of a song or something he's working on, I see the way there's such a graceful imagery. Way that he says things that I see a lot of my father in that. That my dad he was that kind of, he could just say such a thing, and when you're like 10 years old, you're like, "Oh, Dad, that's so weird." And then as you grow up, you start to appreciate just how beautiful it was of a thing to say, and a simple thing, and done so gracefully and beautifully.
Right.
Whether it just be a little poem in an email that he wrote me when I was overseas for Valentine's Day, or a birthday card or something that he had written a little ditty on. And I knew he wrote songs too, but I only knew a couple of them, and of course I tell Dustin all kinds of stories about Daddy. He didn't have the chance to meet him. But we were just moving some stuff around. We were probably getting ready to move out of our rent house, and I picked up his guitar. I have Daddy's acoustic. That's what I learned on, and I taught myself on, if you will, with tutorial videos on YouTube and Mel Bay books. But and a lot of hard-headed blood, sweat, and tears, because I learned on heavy strings. Because he didn't tell me that there were any lighter ones. He said, "You always learn everything the hard way," so I figured that went no different. And now you got calluses, so keep going, girl.
Yeah.
And I picked up this guitar, and I pick it up a lot. I ride on it. I don't take it out and play with it in shows and stuff. But I picked it up, and piece of paper, Daddy's handwriting, and I have his songs, and I have things he's written, and I have, a binder full of all these things, charts for songs, or, poems and things. And I have all of his musical stuff in a place that I keep real safe, but I didn't put that there, and I've had that guitar out 100 times. And we were moving some things around, just opened the case, picked up the guitar, piece of paper right there, and I'm like, who put this here? Was it me? Was it one of the kids? Dustin, did you get in here? Did you have this? Did you find this somewhere? Did you sneak it in? He's like,
message from heaven.
I don't touch that case and that guitar. That's precious to you, and unless you want me to record on something. And I was like, okay, well, I see you, old man. I see you up there. But it was a song that he'd written that wasn't done, and I was like, I don't even know this one. I've never even heard a part of it, never heard a recording of it. And so I don't know what it was about, but I'm damn sure that he was trying to say something, whether it be through, some sort of spiritual medium or realm of whatever it is. I don't know, but it freaked me out. I was like, I don't know how you did that, but it was so cool. And do it again. Like, maybe let me see you next time. It was like a little Santa Claus moment. This ain't fair. Yeah. But he wrote, and I've always written very well in school. My favorite subjects and things were like English and composition and history, and I'm not good at math, and I have to bust out my calculator every time, but I could get through it. But man, those subjects where I really had something very conceptual to think about and write about and express, those were my favorite things to do. So I loved to write. I think I had little novels, and I had poems, and I had songs, but I didn't play an instrument, so they were just poems I sang to in my head.
Without a melody.
Yeah.
Songs without a melody is what they really are.
Yeah. And I would sing them. You know, I know my sister and we would just make up some little ditties while we were driving around, and we'd write them all down and stuff. And then I revisit that later, and I try to, what was I thinking right here? Is that even worth part of that? Is that something I can use over here or there? There have been a couple. I was kind of impressed, but I realized that I was just thinking about what I knew, and that's what we do, writing about what I knew.
Right.
It was silly. But some of it was all right, and some of it was sincere, and some of it was all right. Okay, that was honest and legit, and I meant that. But I have grown so much just from that teenage girl writing a little poem in a diary to really expressing how I feel about crap. Mm-hmm. And that's why I feel like you don't do all the time to other people, but I can get on a stage and I can tell you everything. And I can't help it. That's what it is. I like I was saying, I think it just grabs a hold of me, and everybody goes, what happened to you up there? And I'm like, I don't know, but I feel good now. Yeah. It kind of energizes me.
Cleansing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that go to therapy and counseling and all kinds of things like that. And
just right.
sure, I need that too. I have great friends, and even you, I come and I just fill your earful, and you're a great friend to me, and I love you dearly.
Well, I love you back.
But I think those songs and then talking about them.
Yeah,
is what I gotta do.
Oh yeah,
is I can't help it.
I would like to know if that song that's not finished that you pulled out of your case there of your dad's guitar, are you going to finish it?
I just wondered if that. I didn't feel like it wasn't something I should or shouldn't do. I just felt like it was a...
Do you want him to pick up the guitar, the guitar case and rack you over the head with it?
No, I think
it's a gift.
And yes, you should. For sure. And I think it was something that maybe I was trying to, at the moment, because I was freaked out, like, how did this get here? And it was overwhelming at the time, but I thought about it, and I put it away. I put it away then, and I was like, I'm not ready for it. But it'll be there, and he did that a lot. He would just leave something on you and let you think about it.
Plant the seed.
Let you make your own decision with it, and then see how you come back around. And man, he was an awesome daddy. And he, I think in that song for sure, he's saying, all right, I see you down there doing better. So here's something I needed help on. I'm telling you, Helen, if he was alive to this day,
he'd be right here with
right
you.
Here.
I bet.
He'd be in the band. He'd be at every show. He'd be in that studio. Sure. He would not miss a minute of it, and not just being proud of me. He loved it, and that's why I do, because I saw how much he loved it and how exhilarating and positive that was to him in his life.
Right.
And I want that. And when everything else is falling apart, this is still fun. It's still fun.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes everybody's like, you look mad as hell up there, or you're sad and you're crying. I'm still enjoying just the ride of it, because
it's cathartic. It's cleansing. It's what you do. It's what you know, and you're awesome at it.
Thank you. Yeah. I've worked really dang hard to be where I'm at, because I'm telling you, from the time I could open my mouth, it was either singing something or going, Mama. I clung to her. I was the second born. I was a clinger.
Yeah,
but I think it has grown so much in me just over time, and then through the experience of the different paths you take in different stages in your life. But right now, and in the last several years, I'd say probably 3 to 5, I've gone from here to here with just being able to control things. Not just like vocal things, but breath control. And I learned how to breathe playing a saxophone in school. I marched in 6th grade to 12th grade. I was in band and I played a horn.
Yeah.
And I credit that to my ability to hold a big note forever.
Probably, yeah.
And my kids, Lyn, she's starting on French horn right now. And Stryker, his oldest, is starting on sax.
Oh, wow.
And that was their choices, and they wanted to go into music, and I was just like, okay, we didn't want to push y'all, but we did.
We're going to have a family band. 10 years down the road, we're going to have the whole fam here.
Just the interest in, like, the girls sing, and I've been working with Lara on guitar and stuff too, but just to see them take something cool and different in their own individual thing.
Right.
And, like, Lara brought her French horn this weekend. She was playing it for me, and I was just like, jeez, the whole time I'm filming her. And then I was like, why don't you teach me a little bit how to do that? Because I played a sax, so I don't know this brass thing. She goes, oh, you're going to actually, like, play it, Mom? And she's 10. But going on 35 for sure. But I was like, yeah, teach me what you know. And so she kind of walked me through it, and we got a couple notes out, and I'm like, oh, my God, this is hard. But just to see her I wanted to see how hard it is. It looks hard. I know it's hard. I've done it with a different instrument, but she just tries, and I'm so damn proud of that. And I see myself in that so much that she's doing it for herself, and she loves it. It's hard as hell, but she don't give up. And that's what I know about just life in general.
Yeah.
That's what my parents always said. I will always be proud of you in anything that you do, as long as you try. Of course, I want to be real damn good at it. For me.
Of course.
For me.
Of course.
And of course, I always like to see that pride beaming out of them, you know, but I mean, I went to the Marine Corps. I wasn't going to do something else. I wanted to go. I wanted to serve, Air Force, Navy, all these things. And I was like, I know where I'm going because I already know who I am. And I know that I'm hard-headed as hell. So let's just get this over with. And and I went out there and I told my dad, I said, my goal is that I want to get some school money. And I want to be a sergeant before I get out of my contract. I want to be an E5, which is unheard of in 4 years. You almost have to re-enlist.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if I was going to stay in or not, but he passed in at the end of my 3rd year in my contract, and I made a deal with him. That was our goal. I wanted to pick up sergeant, and I got the cut and score for sergeant right after he passed that next first of the month. I got it. And so I actually got promoted at his graveside to sergeant. They let me fly back from California, and my brother and sister and my mom put my chevrons on me, and we were by Daddy's grave. And when we buried him, I put my sergeant chevrons, I split a pair of them like a best friend necklace, and I put one in his pocket, and I still have the other set of it. And I think he always knew that about me, that I was damn sure going to finish it if I started it. Mm-hmm. And if I wasn't happy with some part of it, and I had to do it a different way, even though I quit some stuff, I flat out said, that ain't for me. Mm-hmm. But he appreciated it if I addressed it in a way that was mature.
Right.
And I've always tried to be that way with music, too. I get told, no, you're not good enough. You're not skinny enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not blah, 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 what we're looking for. But you sound great, and your music's good, and blah, 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 blah. I'm not really looking for that. I need the work, sure. Mm-hmm. And to have a platform of a huge caliber would be amazing. Mm-hmm. But I've been told no so many damn times, it doesn't faze me anymore. When I was a little girl, I'd boo-hoo over it.
The tough thing about being a woman in music is that if you're fronting a band or you're the core of it, it's a whole lot harder.
Oh yeah,
and it's not fair.
What I catch happening now, and for a little while, I will get opportunities that are freaking great. Openers, support acts for super, super talented people, male or female. And then you think that worked out kind of good and everybody was happy and maybe you get asked back for it. Well, offline, they might have thought that you kind of upstaged them or something. I ain't trying to do that crap either. Yeah. But I also don't know how to turn it off. It is a fire hydrant whenever I get going.
That's right.
And I can't slow it down.
You were hired to do the best job that you could. And you did the best job. Yeah. And if you upstaged the main act, well, too bad for them.
I always think that we all should, as fellow musicians, when we're on bills like that, I always just, if somebody's up there before me, and they're kicking ass, I better bring it.
Up your game.
I better bring it.
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of people see it that way. And I wish they would at least open up to the possibility of maybe that's what's going on. I'm in competition with me in that moment and doing better than I did the very last time or something real similar to that situation. And just as the punches are coming at me, how good am I taking them? You know, how am I rolling through it? Did I crack that? Did I hit that one? Did I hold that note out? Did I interact? Did I resonate? Did that energy get transferred somehow between me and another that I, in some way, with my music connected?
Right.
That's all I'm trying to do.
Nothing wrong with that.
I think it just kind of gets turned and twisted, and
I will
say,
how it goes. You know, you've been here quite a few times, and the one thing that I will say about In the Music Room is that, you know, we're an avenue to help singer-songwriters and original artists get jobs and to perform and to show what they're all about. Yeah. And fortunately, everybody that we've had in here has been extremely supportive of others. It's not a competition, and it's an appreciation. This is a place where, you know, none of that ego and horse crap is allowed. It's just,
I don't even know what that's about. I guess
unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there.
You
though,
see it, and you're like, "What are you doing?" Like, they turn on this thing, and I'm not going to say that I've never turned on a thing or turned it on, but my it is a different thing. My it is it's trying to get through like a timeline or a professional thing or something. It's not just this free floating little crazy wild woman that I want to be. It has to be. It's a job still,
right?
So my it is just me turning on. Okay, let's take care of business. Right. You know, let's TCB. Go out there and kick that show's ass. Whole show, kick its ass, and have fun. Yes. But I'm still doing it like Aubrey Lynn does it. That's right. And I just get, I guess, sick at my stomach sometimes when I see people that I know in a different way, and I see them being a different person through it. Yeah. But kudos to them, because it is not easy. It is not easy to do what everybody has to do.
That could be their protection. Sure. I want to ask you, before we conclude the interview, if you could give one word of advice to a young, up-and-coming, original singer-songwriter artist, what would that word of advice be?
I would just say, don't let all of the millions of bad things that are going to come your way in this industry put you down and out. Just keep getting back up, because like I said, have been doing this my entire life. I feel like I was professional at 5 because I was with Dad, you know, and I have been working on it, and I sit with a lot of very young talents and swaps and things a lot of times, and they're just like, oh my God. And I just want them to know that I have been there. Mm-hmm. And the only way you get to where you're not feeling intimidated by it is to keep freaking doing it and doing it and doing it and getting better and improving yourself along the way. Because I never tried to go straight to like Nashville and be at the top and be famous and all that. That wasn't my draw to music. It would be a lot of damn fun.
Yeah.
But, and I'm in the business of taking care of my family. So at the end of the day, if I can make some money doing it, hell yeah, I'll make a lot of it. Mm-hmm. But if you just sit there and get floored by somebody who's really put the time in and really dug in deep to what they're expressing to others on a stage, mm-hmm. take it as a learning moment for yourself, because I've had the doors blown off of me by other female and male singer-songwriters, performers, entertainers. My dad kicked my ass all over the place my whole life. He was awesome. But I took it and I said, okay, he did it that way. I'm going to take that little piece of it and I'm going to do it. Add that to mine. I'm going to take that little piece of somebody else. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be Garth Brooks in a skirt when I was a kid. And I wanted big old red curly hair. And I want to do it all. But I think if you sit there and look at it like you're never going to get to the top of it, and the top of your ability, I mean, not
right.
the top of the music industry, but just your ability and what you love about it. It's gonna just take that much longer, and you're gonna just get so discouraged by that. So just take it with a grain of salt, like we were just talking about. Just let it roll off, and get back up, because I've been knocked on my ass 100 million times. But that was something that I never didn't do after that happened. I never laid there. I got back up, and I dusted myself off, and I patched myself up. I picked up a guitar, and I tried again, mm-hmm. until I started to figure myself out. It was hard for me. Yeah. Everybody thinks it's so, they're like, oh, it just comes out of you so easy, so natural.
Yeah, no. May sound and seem that way, but
honey, so I guess, I've had lots of hours with a hairbrush and the mirror and listening to myself and really tuning my ears to it. So I would say to somebody really green and new to what we do, what you and I do, is just really be honest with yourself in what you're writing down and what you're telling. Don't say something if you don't have nothing to say.
True.
I mean, that's what Mama always told us when we were kids, right? If you ain't got nothing nice to say.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what? The beauty about songwriting is you don't have to be nice all the time.
That's true.
That's true. I mean, I shoot dudes in mine sometimes and I take somebody out, but I think if you just embrace your ability now and see that you can improve and go to people who you can learn from. Come to me. I love to sit with people. I did a girls' night out show for 5 years, and that was like my favorite thing to do, because all of the women got to sit together, and it was like me and you sitting here talking, and then every once in a while we'd sing a song. Right. It was like we had a talk show, but we were just kind of getting comfortable with being on the stage with other girls when everybody else thinks we should hate each other. That's so stupid.
It is stupid.
But it happens.
It does.
So, I mean, I guess just get out and work with people. Work with people in studios. Learn how to write with other people. That's hard. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to do it either. But when I first really dug into it, I just had to head first go into it, and I was like, all right, this might be a terrible song, and I know you're intimidated by how good they might be, and how bad you might be, but just go do it. Fall on your face.
Yeah,
and
more than likely you'll fly,
honey. That is the one thing that I wish for all of us.
Yep,
that's like that song that there's no place like home. That's wish on every star, and I do.
Oh yeah,
and I hope that someday we all can fly, because that's how cool would that be anyway.
Wonderful.
But music is my life, and it is my heart and my soul. And I appreciate y'all for loving me through that. And I love y'all dearly. Always. And thank you for always giving us a soft place to land here in your home and
you're
in the music
always
room.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're in the music room.